Please pardon any purring you hear in this video. I kind of have this on my lap right now. Hey guys, this is Devin, and since it's kind of the end of the year and there's a lot of things coming up for people, I figured that I'd kind of make a little video to kind of help people through these hard times. So a traumaversary is an anniversary of a trauma that's occurred. This could be years past, months past, anything like that. And these could be during any time of the year. Like, any date could be significant to any different person because everyone's trauma experiences are different. And so there isn't like a universal traumaversary for everybody, but usually it correlates towards holidays. And in hindsight, I probably should have made this like a few months ago, because the entirety of like fall and winter from like October to December is pretty rough for people. And so I figured that I would make this video to kind of help people get through these times, because you kind of feel lost in a lot of like traumaversary times, and you kind of feel alone, and there isn't a lot out there on like how to cope with this. So I did something. I went onto Tumblr, and this is one of the sources on Tumblr that I would actually kind of trust, is because people don't really mess around with traumaversaries very much. People just don't really go and spread misinformation on it because this is a pretty serious topic. So I went onto Tumblr and I found a whole bunch of lists about ways to help you through traumaversaries, and I'll be posting all the things that I didn't mention in this video on our Tumblr, ether-system. It's on that little card picture thing at the end of all videos. If you just click on that, there should be a whole bunch of other sources there if the things that I list today aren't exactly what would help you out. So some things that you can do for yourself in these times is just remember that the trauma wasn't your fault. Like, this is a really big thing. Blaming yourself is never a good thing, especially not with traumaversaries. And just remember not to blame yourselves for anything that's happened in the past, because it's not your fault. And I'll say it a million times because I mean it with all my heart. Your trauma was not your fault, and you shouldn't feel guilty for it at all. So something else helpful is to practice good self-care in these times. You know, take a shower, brush your teeth, drink enough water, and make sure you have something to eat, because some traumaversaries can last on for days and the effects could really kind of mess you up for a while. So trying to make sure that your body is in like good shape could be really good for you. And going to work out might even help too. Like, if it's a kind of traumaversary that makes you really angry, going to the gym and like channeling your anger into something productive might actually be really good for you. Like, going to the gym is actually a pretty good resource and a good way to work out your feelings, and I don't do that as much as I should, but it's very good. Just take my word for it. Go for a run or something. It might make you feel better. And another thing to do is let yourself feel the emotions that you're feeling. You don't have to bar them up and like pretend they don't exist and feel bad for feeling angry or upset or sad. You can let yourself cry. You can let yourself be angry. Maybe even writing some angry poetry, or like making an art piece or a drawing or something could help you too. Just remember to breathe. Just remember to breathe. I'm very bad at breathing, and I hope nobody else out there is as bad at breathing as I am. So remember to breathe. You can cry if it's okay. Like, you don't have to like keep a steely exterior if you're going through hard times like that. You're a human being, and you're allowed to feel feelings. And if letting yourself feel isn't right for you, and if you know that would just kind of mess things up further for you, you could distract yourself. Just take the exact opposite approach, which is kind of what I tend to do. You could distract yourself. You could watch like some wholesome movies, some comedies, some rom-coms. I don't know, something that's like entertaining and lighthearted. That could be really good for these times. Listen to your favorite music, and find some funny videos about cats. Unless your life is basically a funny video about cats, then you can hang out with your own cats while they just walk around while you're trying to make video. Or you could, you know, get a really good book, start reading something, hang out with a friend who you can confide your feelings to or not confide your feelings to. Someone who will take you on a real good time and just keep your mind off of the bad stuff that's been going on. Or you could sleep it off. You could do what I do and kind of sleep it off. This is something that people don't really talk about very much, is how good sleep is for you. You can kind of just basically just push the whole day away out of your mind and just like sleep it off and have hopefully good dreams. and just, you know, not be present for the traumaversary. Just sleeping it off is actually a pretty good way to kind of restart your brain, keep it all fresh up in there. And it can kind of just make sure that your brain doesn't get like super overloaded. And Shizzle, get away from the camera, please. Kitty, no. You guys are nuts. And another really important thing is to remember to keep yourself safe. Like, if you struggle with, if you've struggled with self-harm in the past, like, maybe keeping the sharp objects away from you would be a good idea for a traumaversary, because I know for a lot of people, their brain would go on the path of, like, self-destruction because that might have been something that's helped them in the past, but, you know, since times change and there are other ways to cope that may not be the best for you, and there are plenty of other ways to help you get those feelings out without hurting yourself in the process. And if you can, maybe taking the day off would be good for you. If you could get the day off of work, or if you could be excused from your classes at school, or if you really need to, you could just skip it and then face the consequences later if it's like really bad. Like, a lot of people wouldn't really blame you for taking care of yourself, especially if it's something like that important. People will make exceptions. And I mentioned spending time with a friend earlier, and that might be good to help you distract yourself as well. If you've got someone there who you can really talk to about your feelings and stuff, and who can really understand you, that can be really helpful as well. So I hope this little random list of things that I found on the internet was helpful in some manner. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them. And remember that I have a whole bunch of other sources for getting through traumaversaries put on my Tumblr, so please feel free to check that out if you'd like to. So everybody stay safe in these trying times, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you guys for putting up with these goblins. They're wonderful cats. They just missed me a lot when I was away at school. And they just want to be in my room all the time now. This is Lilith. And this is Shizzle. Short for Faux Shizzle. They're amazing. Take care, everybody.